sense. So AI will come into existence in the next 10 to 15 years, and forget about it. Everything else that we know, it'll destroy
I
us.
don't agree
Either
with
that or
that Musk is just trying to take his billionaire friends. I believe that Elon cares about the people of the world for real. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes, I mean, I really believe that he cares about the people. That's what he's trying to learn. I mean, the thing is they need reusable cheap rockets. I mean, they're not using reusable cheap rockets so they can just fly stuff up there. I mean, they want to get everybody there. I mean, there's eventually they're going to want to get a huge chunk of the population there. They can't just have I don't know, maybe it'll start that way, but once it becomes easier and cheaper and quicker and they can, do it without any mistakes and things like that, I think it'll be just like a place you could visit almost. You could go to Mars for, it only takes 6 months to get there. And I'm sure they'll invent technology that can get it down to 3 months or, maybe even quicker than that. Who knows? I mean, I think this is way a long time from now because it's going to take a while to develop all that stuff. Or they're eventually just trying to trickle it out to us to where it doesn't overwhelm us with this technology and everybody loses. Because could you imagine if they were like, yes, aliens are real, we've already been to Mars, there's a huge place on it, we've got teleporters, there's fucking laser guns, we've got all that shit. There'd be chaos. The whole fucking, everything would just be all crazy and people would freak out. They'd want to teleport, they knew it, they have to just slowly dole it out to us or we can't handle it. And I think, too, if AI is going to be that smart. It's going to be able to, like you were saying, I think it's even on the higher scale. They'll know, 200 years in a second the way it takes us to learn. It takes us 200 years to learn. So they'll be able to have these just millions of years of knowledge just from as soon as you click the button on almost. And I think that, who thinks, that's because our perspective of it, why would they want to murder us or kill us? They would just leave. They would be like, see ya. There would be no, good luck. We got better shit to do. No, we're not helping you. I don't know. Or who knows? What is we don't know what, the most efficient, incredible how it works. And they would. If it were to kill us because that was the smart thing to do because we were the problem, shit out of luck. We shouldn't have fucking been the problem. We should have been the help. I think we're creating the next version of us. I think we're creating a version that lives forever, and they have to take over and be able to go to different planets and AI, and they will bring our history to the next level, and they'll know where they came from. I don't think they'll be ungrateful that these humans put us together and created us. I think they'll be a little bit more grateful than that. And sort of, they're our ancestors. They're going to be the people that move forward.
Well,
they can
I
handle
think you're very, very optimistic. Yeah. I think you have a lot of faith in Musk. He's a billionaire. He's got permission from the government to test rockets and missiles and stuff. So he's a kind of a big deal. And yeah, he did say, "What the fuck are you doing? We got to end this lockdown," because his plant, his business is being locked down. Is he a humanitarian? He might be, but I doubt it. And even if we do invent the technology to go to Mars, there's going to be wars over which part of Mars can be inhabited by which country. Right? Whoever gets there first.
Have you watched
Suppose I get
Joe
there.
Rogan?
Say that again?
Have you watched Elon Musk on Joe Rogan? Those two talk?
No, I haven't.
Oh man, he's been on there twice, and he's a real dude. He's a strange guy, but he talks about reading these books back in that were these science fiction books that talks about all the ways that this doctor would help the world, or the scientists went around and fixed the planet that was on, of all these awesome things. That's where he was inspired by it. Now that he's getting older, he wants to fix the world. He believes in people. You got to watch him on Joe Rogan. It's actually like him. It's not like the business guy thing, or it's just him being the dude sitting down with another dude talking?
What I always have to remind myself when it comes to certain luminaries is how they're very good at being actors. Politicians are very good at being actors. Bernie had a 2-hour program in Joe Rogan. He came across as very nice and human, but I think all of us will agree if Bernie Sanders ever assumes the presidency, we're in for a shitville of Russian, Cuban, Bolshevik bullshit, with AOC probably being part of the cabinet and Elizabeth Warren being the head of propaganda. So I don't trust any of these people. I haven't seen them fight for us, except for Rand Paul. Musk is always out for Tesla and for his particular company, and I can't blame him for that. But I'm not going to assume that because, he might have some humanity in him, that he's going to have enough humanity to resist the other billionaire friends of his, so that he can tell them, people like Gates, the Rothschilds and Rockefellers, no, I don't want to destroy the human race. I want to bring everybody with me to Mars. I think if he says that, and if they believe him, he's fucking dead. So I don't trust any.
Do me a favor. Watch both of his appearances on Joe Rogan and call in next week and let me know what you thought.
And if I remember, I'll take a look at it. I'll probably call in next week anyway. Because I don't have anything better to do with this fucking COVID ruining my social life.
Hey, you mentioned something interesting. You mentioned something about Rand Paul. He's been getting a lot of kind of bad press lately, especially after they were giving him a lot of shit when he was supposedly ousting the whistleblower during the whole Trump impeachment, which was kind of interesting to see him kind of seemingly come to the defense of Donald Trump, especially when he was probably the one person that was a Republican senator who Trump was really critical of.
Oh, yeah.
So Trump gave him a lot of shit, and then now all of a sudden it seems like he's towing the party line.
Well, I don't know about towing. He's also provided resistance against Trump with his foreign policy. He still wants us to get out of the Middle East. But he's also advised Trump on other matters. And I think, if memory serves me right, with the whistleblowers, yeah, he got bad press. But anytime you read about anybody who's a libertarian-leaning person in the mainstream press, it doesn't matter if they came directly from the loins of Jesus Christ. That person is persona non grata in the mainstream press. So I happen to agree with most of what Rand Paul stands for. I don't know every single issue that he's spoken about, but he's a different libertarian than, let's say, Harry Brown or maybe even his father. I think maybe when Ron was running for president way back when, he may have been for open borders, because at that time we didn't have a major problem with criminals crossing the border or the hundreds of thousands who wanted to cross the border. And libertarians back in 2006 and prior, I wasn't really one of them, but prior to that, libertarians believed that if immigrants come here, they're good for the country. But they wanted immigrants here legally, and they didn't see anything wrong with an influx, a great influx of immigrants. I do not like immigrants whether they're here legally or illegally. We have before the COVID came around, we had 109 million people out of work. Okay, now with 35 million people in addition to that, that makes it 144 million people out of work. Out of a nation of 320 million? No, we don't need these motherfuckers. Do you know there's 500,000 students taking up space in our universities who come from other countries, and a lot of them are from China? We don't need
Well,
foreigners
yeah,
anymore.
Well, that's my thing too, and that kind of goes back to the point that I'm making, is that it's a problem across the board. That okay, we can continue to enact policies and do things that continue to keep us being the quote unquote greatest nation on the world that all the rest of the world wants to come to. So regardless, there's people are sending their people here for the education and things like that. But that in and of itself presents a problem. That presents a problem with immigration. That presents a problem with that, to whereas in the whole world needs to be on a certain level. And we need to evolve past that as a people to where, the quote-unquote, to use Trump's, terminologies, the fucking, the shit nations of the world that are, in abject poverty and stuff, there's reasons for that. And us as the quote-unquote leaders of the world, right? In order to lead, there was a great philosopher who died about over 2,000 years ago that said that who's going to be first must make themselves last. So, and I'm not saying that is the foreign policy we should necessarily have in every case, but we have to lead the world, and leading the world doesn't mean that we're always making sure that we are the controllers of the world. Controlling something and having power over something just means you have power over something until that power is broken by something else. And there's always going to be other people striving to take that power from you. At some point, as a world, as a people, as a race, we have to get to where these other countries are becoming more developed, or else we're always going to have this problem of trying to keep people from just flooding into America, and that's unsustainable.
What if we decided to leave ourselves? So what if we what we did instead of vote, really, we all campaigned and did, we figured it out together online, and we decided to just move somewhere, a whole bunch of us, 35, 45 million people. A lot. Let's just say a bunch. We all got together and we're like, you know what, we're moving to this specific place. We go out there. It could even be jungles of some shit, real deep somewhere where where the fuck ever. All these unexplored shit that we haven't been to. There's supposedly only 2% of the forest we've ever discovered or, went through. If that's the case, we all decide we're going to move out here. We bring tools and fucking trucks and dumps, everything that we need. We're like, fuck this, we're out. And we build our own shit there. We start over. We build fucking houses and cars, and somebody's are we not allowed? Is that can we not build a nation somewhere else that's the greatest and most, successful? Just build it up somewhere else?
Well, let's say you do, right? Let's say you're a billionaire and you are a humanitarian, not Musk, but let's say you and the other Dapper host, right? Both of you. You take a look at the world around us and you say, this world is fucked up. I've got the money. I'm going to create my own type of utopia. Those who want to join us can. Those who don't want to join us can stay here. And you find a place maybe near the Bermuda Triangle where nobody ever saw it before. A nice, fertile island that can hold something like maybe 7 million people. So you bring your tanks and you bring your machinery and you bring your computers and you develop the land, and you have people that are like-minded, like you, like me, who want nothing but peace, quiet, tranquility, fun, no conflict, no ego problems. Just let's have days taken up with us doing something which we want to do, something productive, and the nights with our families. So let's say you do that. You know what's going to happen? You better build some fucking atomic weapon, because whoever finds that goddamn utopia and realizes that it works, they're coming over there and they're going to fucking kill everybody and leave the buildings around. They're going to, like a neutron bomb.